The Benjamin Dixon Show is only possible with listener support. Go to www.thebenjamindixonshow.com to register for our blog and join the Progressive Army.
Welcome and good evening, everyone, to the stream. Welcome to everyone joining in all the different chat rooms. Thank you so much. It's always a pleasure to speak with you. I can't say it enough how lucky I am to be able to talk with you on a nightly basis. Lots of love to everyone in the chat room. Chicago, Illinois is in the house. I think I saw Boston in the house. Be sure to hit that like, share, and subscribe button as we get ready, getting ready to go into all these videos and discuss the implications of it and discuss the ridiculousness of America and discuss how just how patently ridiculous our country can be on so many different levels. On so many different levels, I cannot stress how utterly ridiculous some of this has become. I want to start with this clip from Fox News and Geraldo Rivera as he tries to tell Jesse Waters that the conspiracy theories are a little far gone. Take a listen in.
It's ridiculous. And the other thing I want to say is that imagine if this press conference was 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago. Donald Trump would have been reelected resoundingly. And I just wonder if Pfizer and Moderna and all these people, didn't they know that it was 95% 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago? Couldn't they have told somebody? They were so afraid to be political that they ended up helping destroy the president.
They were asked that and said not, but I take your point. We only have 3 minutes, but we're going to come back right after a quick.
So that was the wrong lead into it, but that's okay. I'll give commentary on that clip instead of the clip I thought it was. There is a clip from today where Geraldo Rivera in that same exact setup, same exact show, had to really let Jesse Waters know how ridiculous he was. But therein lies the gag, right? They know how ridiculous this coup attempt is by Donald Trump, but Geraldo Rivera is still trying to find a way to give him something. I have no idea what Geraldo Rivera was trying to give Donald Trump here, especially when you consider how utterly ridiculous the entire press conference was, the COVID press conference was. Take a listen in to this clip.
And healthcare providers around the country.
Thank you, Mr. Vice President. And it's really a moment that we want to call on every American to increase their vigilance. And I want to go through some data about why we are asking people from Elko, Nevada, through Denver, Colorado, to Philadelphia, from Madison, Wisconsin, to El Paso, Texas, and across this great nation to really increase their vigilance at this moment. I want to thank the governors and mayors and county commissioners that I've had the privilege to talk to over the last 4.5 months of being on the road. We can have the first slide, please. The number of universities, 42 states, 30 universities, and a large number of chairmen from our tribal nations. The reason we wanted to really be and hear is to really understand the reality on the ground, what they were facing, and understand how we could be more supportive. And this is really a call to action for every American to increase their vigilance because of the graphic that is shown here. Wanted to show you the difference in slopes between the spring surge, the summer surge, and the fall surge. So the American people know that this is more cases more rapidly than what we had seen before. But to also make it clear, like before, we do know what to do. And we're asking every American to do those things today. The next slide shows our increase in test positivity. The light brown bars are the number of tests that were performed. But even with the number and ever increasing number of tests performed, you can see the increase in test positivity to around 10%.
Wow.
In some areas of the country, it is much higher than that. And it illustrates the ongoing community spread in your counties, in your small and large metros, and in your rural areas. The next
I guess that's what Rudy, I'm not Rudy, but Geraldo was talking about when he was like, "Oh, if we had that press conference 2 months ago, he'd be president." No. If we had that press conference 2 months ago, it still would have been 200,000 deaths. This is the press conference they should have had back in December. I think everyone who was paying attention at any level knew by January that something serious was coming. And by February, well, you were either ready for it or not. So it wasn't like this wasn't something that they could have fixed if they had just gone back 2 months ago. This was something that needs to go back 250,000 lives ago. Okay? This has to go back 250,000 lives. And the fact that this election was close to begin with, like at all. This man got away with killing 250,000 people. So I guess that's what Geraldo. Is this what you're talking about here, Geraldo? Let's listen again.
It's ridiculous. And the other thing I want to say is that imagine if this press conference was 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago. Donald Trump would have been reelected resoundingly. And I just wonder if Pfizer and Moderna and all these people, didn't they know that it was 95% 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago?
No, I try to see, that's what I get for trying to give him the benefit of the doubt. He's not even talking about that. He's talking about the announcement of the vaccine. Well, still, Donald Trump only deserved to get reelected 250,000 lives ago. Whatever, man. Rudy Giuliani came out with some foolishness, so let's see what the hell he's talking about here.
Which, to any experienced investigator, prosecutor, would suggest that there was a plan from a centralized place to execute these various acts of voter fraud, specifically focused on big cities, and specifically focused on, as you would imagine, big cities controlled by Democrats.
Ooh.
And particularly focused on big cities that have a long history of corruption. The number of voter fraud cases in Philadelphia could fill a library. Just a few weeks ago, there was a conviction for voter fraud, and 2 weeks before that. And I've often said, I guess sarcastically, but it's true, the only surprise I would have found in this is if Philadelphia hadn't cheated in this election. Because for the last 60 years, they've cheated in just about every single election. You could say the same thing about Detroit. Each one of these cities are cities that are controlled by Democrats, which means they can get away with anything they want to do.
Oh, really?
It means they have a certain degree of control over, certainly control the election board completely, and they control law enforcement. And unfortunately, they have some friendly judges that will issue ridiculously irrational opinions just to come out in their favor.
So this was the prelude to all the madness that was to come. I have some short clips of it, and we have quite a few clips of it, but this is a pathetic attempt at a coup, but an attempt at a coup nonetheless. And I've been quietly sounding the alarm, in so much as a person can quietly do such a thing. I've been quietly sounding the alarm in that I think it's only reasonable for us to consider that Donald Trump is going to try to steal this election. I think it's only reasonable for that to be our starting proposition. Based on everything else that he's shown us, shouldn't we expect that? Now, people could laugh at the efficacy of it, the efficiency, the strategery, if you would. We could laugh about that. But it's still an attack on democracy nonetheless. And if Donald Trump was able to get the acquiescence, the reluctant or excited cooperation of some key Republican figures, this entire conversation would be entirely different, right? this entire conversation would be about how do we stop this coup versus look at how pathetic they are at trying to institute a coup. But if we know that this is a fault line, if we know that this is a way that the United States can be torn apart at the seam, don't we have a responsibility to address it as such, regardless of whether or not the attempted coup leader is efficient? I just think maybe that should be thought about. Here's the next little bit from Rudy Giuliani.
The minute you approve this, it's thrown away, gone for eternity. The only thing left is the vote. That could have been Mickey Mouse. That could have been a dead person. That could have been not filled out properly. That could have been the same person 30 times. That could have been, and all these things have happened, by the way. That could have been...
What the hell is she smiling for in the back? She's like, I'm so proud of him, telling it like it is.
Nothing filled out. We never know. So, for example, the recount being done in Georgia will tell us nothing.
But you asked for it.
Because these fraudulent ballots will just be counted again because they wouldn't supply the signatures to match the ballots. So it means nothing to have counted these ballots because, for example, in Pennsylvania, where we have probably our most precise evidence, 682,700.
Precise what did you say? Hang on. Precise what?
Probably our most precise evidence.
But I'm sorry.
682,770 of these ballots were cast, put in, and they weren't inspected.
So anyway, it was pretty sad and pathetic seeing Rudy Giuliani falling apart, his last act, his last big stand. Listen, I hope that I'm satisfied and content with whatever I've accomplished by the time I'm 60. Not that it's over with after 60 by any measure, but I just need to be satisfied. Regardless of what age, I need to be satisfied now. Right? 50, 60, 70, whatever. I just don't want to be out there throwing some damn Hail Marys at the end of my life, going out looking like Bobo the Clown, like Boo Boo the Fool. Like I just really want to be satisfied and secure in my skin enough to be able to know bullshit when I see it. I just don't want to go out like, greasy hair, McGrease here.
What happened on the morning of November 3rd when they were going to count this new kind of ballot, this mail-in ballot? Did every Democrat leader in Pennsylvania and in Michigan and in Wisconsin and in Georgia and in Nevada and in Arizona, they all wake up and all separately have the same idea? Did they all separately have the idea that we're going to put Republican inspectors in pens? We're not going to let them look at mail-in or absentee ballots?
You can look at them dripping.
They all independently come up with that. Like, just by coincidence.
This is so sad. This is really sad. This is like, go get your loved one and bring them and sit them down bad.
They say, hey, we're going to put the Republicans in pens and corrals. We're going to do it in Pittsburgh. We're going to do it in Philadelphia. We're going to do it in Detroit. We're going to do it in Milwaukee. We're going to do it in Las Vegas. We're going to do it in Phoenix. What did I miss?
This is sad. This is I don't know if we should keep going and doing this to him. Let's listen to this one. It's a highlight.
To know right now that we will not be intimidated. American patriots are fed up with the corruption from the local level to the highest level of our government, and we are going to take this country back. We are not going to be intimidated.
We are totally not scared here at all.
Not going to back down. We are going to clean this mess up now. President Trump won by a landslide.
Whoa. President Trump won by a landslide is next level. President Trump won by a landslide. At best, you can argue that President Trump narrowly got an electoral victory only because we found an insurmountable amount of of incontrovertible evidence of voter fraud. So therefore, we're able to take like tens of thousands of votes away from all these states that he won. And even when we did that, Donald Trump would have only won by a coup d'etat and a narrow electoral victory. But never can it be said of this election that Donald Trump won of a landslide. What the entire hell, man?
Going to prove it, and we are going to reclaim the United States of America for the people who vote for freedom.
The last few sentences. Listen. Last few words. Listen.
Going to reclaim the United States of America for the people who vote for freedom.
Okay. I'm vacillating back and forth between whether or not I want to laugh at how pathetic this human being is, or warn you about the fact that she's dead ass serious. She's serious. She feels like this is her big moment. She feels like, here I am standing before the entire world for the world to see and take measure of me. We're going to fight for the people who vote for freedom. And Donald Trump won in a landslide. Do you know the kind of confidence? Do you know the kind of confidence you have to get on the international stage and make a declaration of any kind? You can get up there and say Wu-Tang forever. Just having that kind of confidence to get on the world stage and say, whatever. But to get on the international stage and say something that everyone with a modicum of sense can look at and say you are absolutely, positively a lying ass liar, living in a deluded world of your own imagination. But these people get up here with this bullshit and they're like, we're going to declare to the world that we're not afraid, shaking in their boots. We're going to take America back. From who? From the people who voted your guy out of office. That's who you're going to take America back from. I just want to could y'all let me play that again?
To know right now that we will not be intimidated. American patriots are fed up with the corruption from the local level to the highest level.
And what the hell is she smiling for back there? What is she smiling about? She's like, I'm so proud of them taking a stand. Here, they're so brave. God loves them so much. Jesus is so proud of them. What the hell is she smiling for, man?
Of our government, and we are going to take this country back. We are not going to be intimidated. We are not going to back down. We are going to clean this mess.
Who said that? If he said, why is her voice shaking though? Because she's nervous. Because this is her big moment. This is the moment she's been waiting for all of her life. She never thought that she would be on the international stage where everybody across the globe is looking at her. But here she is in her big moment, in her big debut, trembling in her stockings, just shaking, just sitting there trembling, because she believes this is her purpose and her calling, the most important reason for which she was born. She believes that she has been ordained by God in this moment to stand up here and fight on behalf of Donald Trump. That's the type of sociopathy that we're dealing with here, folks.
Up now, President Trump won by a landslide.
A landslide.
We're going to prove it, and we are going to reclaim the United States of America for the people who vote for freedom.
Now I can tell you what happened there. She had no idea how she was going to finish that sentence, right? She had no idea how she was going to finish that sentence. Let's swap places. She had no idea how she was going to finish that sentence, and so I could tell you exactly what she was thinking as she did this. Hang on, let me rewind a little bit.
People who vote for freedom.
No. Wait.
We are going to reclaim the United States of America for the...
Now she had to answer the question, right? She said, we're going to reclaim the United States of America. She could have just stopped there, but she said for, and then she realized, well, holy shit, who am I going to say? Who are we going to say? Because I can't say what's really on my mind, which is reclaim America from all these non-white people, right? From all these black folks, all these Black Lives Matter folks, all these LGBTQIA, folks. We got to reclaim America back from women who don't know their place. All this is what, she's really doing her brain at that moment is processing all the bullshit that she wants to say and all the subconscious racism that's just there ready to jump out. Honestly, if you think about how difficult it is for these people to hide their full-blown racism and bigotry, Islamophobia, xenophobia, they're actually geniuses. Can you imagine having all of that evil rot in your brain, but then still having the dexterity and the mental dexterity enough to cover up your racism? And instead of saying, oh, we're going to reclaim America for the 14 words, the children of our future, instead of saying what was really on her mind, she was, mentally ambidextrous enough to say, we're going to do it for freedom. Freedom. Which at this point, I don't think that we should draw a distinction between that last line of freedom, people who voted for freedom. We shouldn't separate that from expressly meaning save America from everybody who ain't white Christian men. It's just her way of sanitizing what she really means. Because what she really means is reflected in who they're fighting on behalf. Like, let's not be coy here. She literally means on behalf of white Christian men and the white women who love them, and that 20% of black men who love them, and that 50, or was it 12% now of black women who it doesn't matter. All that matters is that you just show a level of loyalty to this power structure, and they'll accept you in their club. Let's keep going.
And I'm the senior legal advisor to the Trump campaign, and I'd like to just explain now where we've been. And
okay, she's been smiling all this time, like she's been smiling with a smile of adoration, like I'm so proud of these two people. Now it's her time to shine. Let's see what she says.
Where we're at and what you can expect from this process. So what you have heard, I'm sure, in the fake newspapers tomorrow will be one of two things.
That was some time. So in the fake newspapers tomorrow. That should be a name of a podcast.
There was not sufficient evidence that we've presented, or we spoke too long. Okay, so what?
Oh, she really believes this, y'all. She really believes this because she's got that little nod in the side of her head, right? That's that righteous indignation nod.
What we've heard now is basically an opening statement. This is what you can expect to see when we get to court to actually have a full trial on the merits, to actually show this evidence in court and prove our case. This is not a Law and Order episode where everything is neatly wrapped up in 60 minutes. For those of you who are here in this room or have maybe tuned out in other networks.
Tuned out is absolutely right.
Clearly, you've never been court reporters. Trials take time. Putting on evidence takes time. This is basically an opening statement so the American people can understand what the networks have been hiding and what they refuse to cover, because all of your fake news headlines are dancing around the merits of this case and are trying to delegitimize what we are doing here. Let me be very clear that our objective is to make sure to preserve and protect election integrity. President Trump has
The sky is brown and the grass is blue.
Saying from day one that this is about maintaining free and fair elections in this country.
By taking it away from you.
It is not about overturning an outcome. It is about making sure that election integrity is preserved. And
it's about making sure that they have enough time to pull their coup off, period.
American should want that. If every American...
You should want us to take all the time that's necessary for us to overturn your election. That's what she's saying.
Is not on board with that, you have to ask yourself why.
Oh, I got plenty of answers why I'm not on board with that, right? One, I don't know if I'm on board with a lot of the true believers of anything. Like, yeah, I'm not. She was like, let me tell you, this is a cover up by every single news station, including Fox News. We liked them yesterday. Matter of fact, we like them right now because Sean Hannity is on. But if they don't do exactly what we say, we don't like them. It's not that I dislike true believers. Let me correct myself. Absolutists of any flavor. Absolutists who will put up that type of proposition. If you don't believe what I say, then. The only way to finish that sentence is, if you don't believe what I say, then good. Go figure it out for yourself. Right? That's the only correct way to end that sentence. But we've seen so many times, not so many, the majority of the time throughout world history, it has been a product of people saying, if you don't believe what I say, believe, then fill in the blank of whatever punishment they chose. If you don't do this, then no. I hate to be so generalizing, but there are those of us who are just simply trying to survive, right? We're trying to survive this life. We're trying to survive. We're trying to help the planet survive for our children. We just really, at the end of the day, we're just trying to do the right thing. We are literally up against people who feel the same conviction about opposing what we stand for that we have opposing it, standing for it. Like we have our mirror opposition, not because they're correct, not because there's an equivalence. No. I just want you to understand, as much as you believe in what you're fighting for, they believe that you're wrong and that you're the devil and that you're going to hell and that they have to save America from you. And that's dangerous. That is extremely, extremely dangerous, in that it gives them the sense of righteous indignation, as if they're on a crusade to save the world from the barbarians. And the barbarians are anyone, any group of people, any individual who does not conform to what they say you need to believe. And here I am, I'm like, listen, folks, if you ever hear me telling you, if you don't believe what I say, then, and I didn't finish that with, then good. Congratulations. You're my kind of audience. That means somebody has snatched it's a body snatcher somewhere and my real body's on a helicopter in Salt Lake City. I don't know. But anyway, it just ain't me. Here's another clip.
I don't know what you need to wake you up, to do your job and inform the American people, whether you like it or not, of the things they need to know. This is real. It is not made up. It is not, there's nobody here.
This is not real. It is absolutely made up.
That engages in fantasies. I've tried 100 cases. I prosecuted some of the most dangerous criminals in the world.
In my glory day, back when I was the quarterback, we won this is what he sounds like.
I can prove to you that he won Michigan by probably 50,000 votes. When I went to bed on election night, he was ahead in all those states.
Can we just take a pause for the drainage? His hair is really falling apart. That dye is really coming out. And you know what? I think he doesn't think anybody sees it. I think he really thought that he got away with it. He walked off stage saying, they probably didn't even notice. No, Rudy. It's got its own Twitter profile at this point.
Every single one of those states. How is it they all turned around? Every single one of them turned around. Or is it more consistent that there was a plan to turn them around? And since there are witnesses who say...
And there she goes, smiling with admiration. She's like, Rudy Giuliani is such a great man. He's America's mayor. He's the one that... I'm just so proud to be standing in this moment with good God-fearing men who will fight on behalf of ending tyranny and oppression. She is into this.
It was a plan to turn him around. And it kind of begs credulity to say that it all happened in every single state. My goodness, this is how you win cases in a courtroom.
Somebody come get your uncle. Come salvage this, man. All right, one more clip of Rudy. Let me skip to this one. I'm gonna skip over a little bit. Let's grab this one.
One last question. One last question from a reasonable civil person. Yeah, you are not. Yes.
I'm not a reasonable person?
No, she isn't. Well, we'll find out.
I'm from the Daily Caller. for the record.
Oh, there we go.
If the
Great.
courts don't let you present these cases like Jenna just said, will you give the entire bulk of the evidence to the media to review? And if so, when? Or are you going to drag this thing out like the Hunter Biden hard drive again?
What's going on here, and with the unfairness in which you cover it, it's not easy.
Wait. The Daily Caller is being unfair to you? I know I skipped a little bit. Let me go back a little bit. He's about to say that the Daily Caller, which is Tucker Carlson's outlet, for those of you who don't know, the Daily Caller was started by Tucker Carlson. Pretty sure that's correct. Let's listen in.
Like the Hunter Biden hard drive again.
We're not going to drag it out. I mean, it's ridiculous for you to say we're dragging it out. Well, Al Gore had a lot more time than we've had, and we've had 2 weeks to investigate. So that's also completely unfair to say we're dragging it out. Also, if we're going to present things in court, if we present it to you, judges are not going to be very happy with us. And finally, I have to tell you, our witnesses don't want to be exposed to the tender mercies of a vicious press. I have great difficulty getting those witnesses that I did reveal to allow me to do it. They don't trust you. They don't like you. They think you put their lives in jeopardy with the spin that you put on what's going on here and with the unfairness in which you cover it. It's not easy.
I think it's more terrifying at this point for him to actually believe what he's saying. I think it is more terrifying at this point for him to actually believe. I would rather this entire thing is a big gag because they want to run my blood pressure up and they want to raise as much money as they can so they can raise money and own the libs. It would be better if they were really like so committed to the hustle that they would have their reputations go down in flames, but they had to make that last $100 million. I'd feel better about that than to think that we have such a large percentage of this country who actually believes the complete ridiculous absurdity that comes out of their mouths over and over and over again. We'll be right back. I'm going to take a quick breather. We'll be right back.
The Benjamin Dixon Show is only possible with listener support. Go to www.thebenjamindixonshow.com to register for our blog and join the Progressive Army.
So, I can't really let that last point go. I just want to say it one more time before I go to this next clip. It's critical that we understand the level of commitment these people have to their ignorance. I think it would be better if they were just hustling us. But I'm afraid that they genuinely deep down believe that they have been victimized and that they have to save America from those of us who look at it and say, whew, we barely survived.
Joining us now by phone is Sidney Powell. She's a member, obviously, of the president's legal team, also General Michael Flynn's defense attorney, a great American, one of the country's leading appellate attorneys. Sidney, first of all, thanks. I know you are going every which direction right now, busy as you could possibly be. Let's start out right now with the president's path to victory here as you and the legal team see it. If you could give us just that canvas very quickly.
Well, yes, Lou. The entire election, frankly, in all the swing states should be overturned, and the legislatures should make sure that the electors are selected for Trump, and it's going to have to follow the constitutional provisions that it be decided according to the amendment. It's just
let's turn it to Smartmatic and Dominion. Are they or are they not linked?
I hate to be the bearer of bad news, folks. I hate to be the bearer of bad news. These people gonna get us killed, okay? These people are so committed to their white supremacy and their power, their greed, their money, their dominance, they would rather destroy this democracy than to let democracy say something other than what they approve of. Oh, man. That's some serious shit there, folks. Do you ever pause and wonder, like, how the hell we got on this particular timeline? I mean, just bear with me. You guys know I'm like always spaced out. But have you ever stopped to wonder what it took for us to get Donald Trump at the exact time we would be hit with a global novel coronavirus? Like the worst case scenario. Okay. And here we are stuck with the worst case scenario in terms of the president of the United States with a party that is committed to a level of ignorance that we can't even ascertain quickly what is true and what's not. Like the very definition of truth has been victimized by this cabal of power-hungry sadists. The very concept of truth has now become questioned. Not because the majority of people don't know any better, but because we continue to give credence to a level of ignorance and a level of stupidity that really begs a question, what the hell is wrong with us? Why do we keep letting these sociopaths in the conversation? It's because we're afraid of actually saying, no, moron, until you know the difference between fact and fiction, opinion and fact, and until you know the difference between subjective and objective, and until you come and sit down at the table with us in good faith, get the hell out of our national conversation, because you will destroy us. That's what I'm trying to say is they are committed to a level of political derangement that will literally destroy us. You cannot, I'm sorry, you can't mess around and play around with the Pandora's box of a coup at any level and think that you have a right to play in our political sandbox. You can't. I'm sorry. Because at some point, one thing I knew growing up, I knew how to get into a fight, and I knew how to talk my way into a fight and talk my way out of a fight. And the one thing that you know in these kind of situations is you got to know when to shut your mouth. You can't always run your mouth and get away with it. At some point, you're going to have to shut your mouth and stop talking cash money shit, or else your ass is going to have to cash it. That said, similarly, Republicans can't keep running around here talking about civil war, overturning these elections. They can't keep talking this treasonous talk that would lead to a complete all-out war with each other and expect to never have to cash a check that their asses weren't ready to cash. In other words, they can't keep talking about it and something not eventually pop off. So maybe this time we skate by. We skate by because Donald Trump was really in this just to raise a last quick $100 million before he could skip town. Okay. And Donald Trump doesn't just pull on that string, that thread that connects at the seams of this country that Donald Trump has found, and he knows all he has to do is pull that single thread and he could tear this country apart at the seams. So maybe we get lucky and he doesn't actually go out like the baby he's proven himself to be this entire time. Maybe we get lucky. Why would we leave that thread there? Why would we leave the capacity for our country to be destroyed by a certain type of leader? How long do we just ignore the fact that our democracy is so fragile that if Donald Trump so chooses, he could destroy it? More precisely, if Donald Trump so chooses and the people who surround him continue to support it, if they just continue to do it, then it's going to happen. I don't care if he comes stumbling through like Michael Scott from The Office trying to overthrow the election results. It's the fact that he tried and we didn't do anything about it, or we didn't do enough about it. And we just laughed about it because, oh, there goes that Michael Scott again trying to overthrow the United States. Well, eventually Michael Scott actually got the girl. Eventually Michael Scott actually got the promotion. So we can keep laughing at Donald Trump being a effing moron, incompetent at trying to overthrow this country. But if we keep giving him time, he's going to find the right combination to make it stick.
The Benjamin Dixon Show is only possible with listener support. Go to www.thebenjamindixonshow.com to register for our blog and join the Progressive Army.
I'm still here. I just, you know what'll make me feel better? The same thing that makes me feel better all of the time, no matter how bad the news is, no matter how ridiculous Donald Trump is acting, or Republicans and Trumpism, because it goes far beyond Donald Trump himself. But it doesn't matter so long as we have a patron party. So let's have a patron party and celebrate the people who make the show possible.
Go to www.patreon.com/The BPD Show and get twice the content and unfiltered interviews without any of the commercial interruptions.
And here we go. At this point in every single episode, I'd like to thank the people who make the show possible, our patrons and our Twitch subscribers. Very special welcome to new Twitch subs: TJ Love, John Venn Diagram of Desire, Teacher Lauren, John Venn Diagram of Desire gave out 5-tier subscriptions. Thanks so much, man. Jay Dukes, Canadian Populist Left, Ocorboy, Michelle T, Flocka Wesses, Noah H, Antoinette 81, Samantha P, Linda F, Mariah B, Angela M, Tom D. Thank you all for becoming patrons. You too can become a part of this prestigious and prodigious patron family by going to patreon.com/The BPD Show, where you get twice the content, uncut, unfiltered interviews, none of the commercial interruptions, and you give me the ability to speak power into the powerless, whether the powerful like it or not.
Welcome back to the Benjamin Dixon Show. Visit us online at thebenjamindixonshow.com.
Yep. All right. We're coming up at the hour mark. We have about 15 minutes left, so I'm going to answer super chats, all the super chats that I missed last night. I'm going to answer the super chats from today and answer questions from patrons. But before I go to that segment, I want to remind everybody that tomorrow night we are having the Ask Me Any question. It's not really an Ask Me Anything. Only reason I make that distinction is because it's not about me. It's not about you to come and find out more about me. It's about you to come and ask me whatever political question you've ever wanted to ask. That's tomorrow night. It is a Zoom, and I will send the link out to all of the patrons and all of the Zoom, Twitch subscribers about 10 minutes before we start. All right. Let's go to comments and questions from Twitch subscribers first. Said, I'd like to ask about Black Friday. I've looked into its history. Black Friday, gold panic of conspiracy of 1869. It's horrible. My question is, how do we teach people the truth and stop them from beating each other for TVs on a day that was actually created for something so horrible? I'm a Canadian, so it's now a thing here, Canadians. I'm going to be honest with you. Save your energy, because if they are going to go out there and fight over a TV during the pandemic, you have absolutely no chance whatsoever of convincing them that they should change their behavior patterns. Sorry, I hate to be the guy to bear bad news, but use your energy somewhere else. I appreciate your question and your concern, but the truth is if they don't have enough damn sense to stay their asses home during the pandemic. All right, let's keep going. Fellini friend 87 said, good news. My dad is going to stop watching Fox News. Bad news. He's going to watch Sean Spicer Network and Newsmax. I don't know if that's an improvement or not. We'll have to see. You let us know. Keep us posted on the updates. Andy from Ohio say, hey there, brother Ben. Much love. Back at you, Dragon Squad, Squirrel Gang. Canadian Populist Left. Thank you for the raids. I feel the love. Hey, our pleasure. Look, sometimes all it takes is just an act. Big or small. Let's go with patron questions. Ali G said, hi, Ben. Both of my parents are diehard Trumpers, and I thought you might like some inside information. My dad says the, quote, evidence of voting fraud is how many split tickets there are. Holy cow. Are you serious? He said an overwhelming amount of Republicans voted for Republican senators and representatives, but also voted for Biden. I tried to explain it was because even Republicans hated Trump that much, but he honestly couldn't accept that. He honestly believes Trump is loved by most people. The crazy thing is my dad is educated and intelligent, but is still totally brainwashed. It's heartbreaking. I can't even talk politics with him anymore. Thought this might be of interest, and would like to hear my thoughts. Thanks for all that I do. Thank you for that question. Just love your dad. Be honest with you. Sometimes you just got to love your people, even though you can't really deal with your people. Just love your family. Don't give in to them. Don't give up on them. Don't acquiesce. Don't genuflect. But at the same time, I wouldn't go down the road of, I don't know. I don't know how, I don't have my dad anymore. So I'm not sure that I would spend any amount of time correcting him. I think I would drop the hint here and there, but I'm looking kind of misty eyed at the fact that my dad is not here anymore. So I don't know that I would spend time arguing with him over politics as much as like going fishing or something. But at the same time, maybe you could, flatten their tires so that they can't go out and vote or something. I don't know. I'm just joking. Obviously, that's a joke. Marcus C. said, should have to register before voted be considered a poll tax. Imagine having to register for your other rights listed in the Constitution. Example, did you register for free speech a minimum of 2 weeks ago? How about having to register with the government to have the right to not be illegally searched, join a religion, not be tried twice, publish news, illegal searches, or not be a slave? I would argue that you are born with the right to vote in the USA. Any registration is suppression. Nobody can stop you from voting, including your employer. I like that. That's funky. Thank you, Marcus. That's funky as hell. Masha said, how should we currently be spending our energy and or money to help priority causes? What are some specific causes or suggestions for how to make decisions about how to best help? Example, who or what to support in Georgia and what else should we be doing? Sunrise Movement, 2024 candidates focus, etc. Well, we've pointed out a couple of groups, and here are the 3 groups that I push on this show for Georgia's the special runoff. And the reason for it is specifically because they had a hand in Joe Biden winning. Okay. That's the New Georgia Project. That is Black Male Voter Project. And that is Fair Fight. Those organizations, I know people who work at each of those organizations. I know the work that they've done up until this point. and absolutely suggest that if you're going to donate any money, donate it to one of those organizations because they're already here on the ground and they have a track record. In terms of what you can physically do in terms of volunteering, there's multiple ways that you can do phone banking on behalf of either of these candidates, either directly through the candidates or with an outside organization. So definitely check out phone banking, and then the texting. That's a huge thing. And if you feel so inclined, if you don't feel so inclined and you don't feel like 2020 is a year for you to participate like that, and you're looking at 2022, 2024, what you can do is like support some of these organizations that do work in between election years, right? You want to make sure that you link up with an organization that is doing work during the off years. But in terms of specifics here in Georgia, the New Georgia Project, Black Male Voter Project, and Fair Fight. Those are the three organizations. And I think all three of them have, well, of course, they all have websites and they all have ways that you can volunteer if you don't want to donate. All right, let's go to Super Chats. All right, let's go. I got to get all the Super Chats from last night, too. Gerald Dubois said, $5 donating me cussing. Damn. Roasted with truth. Damn. Why don't we have politicians like this? I don't know. You might end up getting some politicians like this. Arito Pathak said, every night I feel good when I say, oh, fuck Boston. Okay. It was a little in the weeds there, but I figured it out. Tatsu123 said, Jehovah Maskinus, I'll be here all week. Talking about the mask situation. Okay. This is from last night also. Look at my poo-poo. That's exactly right. Smile like it was nice, right? Talking about the lady. Folks, I'm still rolling at that lady who compared COVID-19 wearing a mask. She compared it to slavery. I'm still laughing at this lady.
We've been in a lockdown for 8 months now, Tucker. We need to be treated as second-rate slaves in our own homes.
Her smile, she's like, I did that. She said, look at this. Look at this beautiful pile of fecal matter. Isn't it beautiful, Mom? Oh, the wonderful, strange, and terrifying world that we live in. The Big P said, I get home around midnight, so here's a preemptive super chat. If the show is whack, I'll just take the L. And then he came back and said, nah, seriously, my dude, you are affirmation just showing up. A brother like me needs that. Much love and appreciation. Peace. Thank you, my friend. Patricia Williams, thank you for the super chat from last night. And again, I'm sorry for not reading them last night, but I just got to, y'all know me. I just got a vibe. Still the same OG, but I've been low key. I just got a vibe and just go with wherever the flow of the show is going. Responding to the guy who said that COVID could be some people's last Thanksgiving. Justin said, that clown is Dr. Atlas, the radiologist Trump is listening to on COVID right now. Wow. Yeah. Chuck Diesel said, this segment just fueled my nightly workout. Exercise will suppress the fury that this racist Karen has inspired. I'll be back after 50 push-ups. All right, Chuck Diesel. They don't call you Chuck Diesel for nothing. Ada Martinez says, have you heard of the governor what the governors are doing to natives in North Dakota? Okay, with the governor. I get it. I'm sorry. I'm just being pedantic here. Have you heard what the governor is doing to natives in North Dakota related to COVID? Genocide all over again. No, honestly, I'm sorry. I haven't. Let me dig into it. I just kind of feel like I have an idea of Tyson managers bet money how many workers could contract COVID-19. Tyson Foods, the chicken company, their managers bet money on how many workers could contract COVID-19. Now, let me tell y'all something. We just need to know who they are. That's all. We just need to know who they are. Because if you have that kind of fixation with trauma and death, and if you are that much of a sadist, I mean, we just need to know who they are. That's all. Let's keep reading. Vinny Holiday said, so true, Ben. We can't even get people to accept masks. How are we going to convince enough people to take climate change seriously? Good question. Tija, thank you so much for that super chat saying, speak your truth, Ben. Love what you have to say on TYT now here. Absolutely. Glad to have you here. Buckle up for the ride. Bridget Graham said, love you, Ben, but I got to watch some Star Trek. Okay, so here's the thing about Star Trek. I'm not watching any of the new season until I can binge watch it. I want to watch everything in a weekend. I don't want to. I hate waiting until the next week. If you give me a cliffhanger, I want to fight you. Okay. So I'm going to wait until the season is completely over, and then I'm going to go watch the new season of Star Trek Discovery. Oh, this is empty. My coffee's gone. Misty Bauer says, I've been homeless before. Give this to the hero, Gabrielle, from the Painted Dragon for doing the right thing. Wow. That's love. We need Sharon Middleton said, we need an acronym for dope. I think it's there. I feel what you're saying. Something could be made out of that. Kim Riley, I love Emma too. MB is a deep loss. Emma is a great addition. So glad to have this community. BPD and all the chipmunks, truly a blessing. MB. Oh, Michael Brooks. Yeah. Emma Vigeland going over to Majority Report. Okay, here we go. Finally catching up with tonight. Kevin Moses says, these people don't believe any vote not for Trump is real. They want to say the rest of America aren't citizens and want us all living under their rule. Absolutely. Ben, what if by some crazy act, this is from Nick Watt, said, Ben, what if by some crazy act of God, Trump succeeds in stealing this election? Is it possible? The thing is, it's possible for him to try in a detrimental fashion to this democracy. In other words, there's literally nothing to de-incentivize this behavior when you're a shameless piece of shit. Is it possible? It's possible for him to push the envelope. And pushing the envelope is exactly what is necessary to destroy this country. Randy's context says, Rudy is still angling for that attorney general job. Sad. Blue Hair One said, I wonder which of the Cheeto family will be the first to be on Dancing with the Stars. I hope it's Eric. I hope it's Eric Trump. That'd be hilarious. Ray Riley said, eyes on the prize, Georgia. For real. Everybody keep your eye on Georgia. Georgia. Marcus Farrell. Sorry to that, man. I don't know that man. I could be walking past that man on the street and wouldn't even know him. Marcus said, Morning Trap Squad checking in. Just throw them likes, squirrels, and super chats. Jeezy is currently beating Gucci. It's good to know. Also follow Ben and Clickbaity on Patreon. Nice sweater, Ben. Thank you, man. It took me forever to figure out what the hell I was going to wear. I had to remember the last time I wore this. Is this like, can we all just pick one outfit and just agree that that's what we're going to wear every day for the rest of our lives? And we'll just get, and no, it's not that we're going to be dirty. It's like we'll get, 10 pair of the same shirts. And then it's this, you just know me as the guy in the blue shirt, not the guy in the blue vest. Marcus Farrell said, donate to orgs first. Absolutely. Donate to organizations first. Misty Bauer says, I'm always late to the show. I'm here now, though. I sent the video on Facebook. It's for you to react to. Please let me know if it arrived. I'm bad at Facebook. I'm not sure that I received it, but it probably is there. And she said, apparently my dyslexia is bad today too. But guess what? I read it. When I saw the BF, I knew you meant Facebook. So my brain was compensating for my own level of dyslexia. We all got it. Munt Colshire said, Yang is in Georgia. Has he contacted Marcus's or Mundell's groups yet? I don't think he has, and we should ask about them. Angela Mitchell said, it's not illegal for Trump to influence legislators to make their electors vote for him in the swing states that Biden won. It is talking about faithful electors in some states it is illegal, but I don't think the penalty in most states is enough for people to care about the illegality. It can still be done. Yes, it can still be done. Faithful and unfaithful electors. Let's see what else we got going on. All right, folks. That's about it. Twitch, where are we going? Where are we going tonight? Boom, doom, doom. Hey, be easy, Marcus. Appreciate you coming through here, brother. Always good to see you, man. Y'all throw some acorns up for Marcus while we wait for the Twitch directions of where we're. Let me see. I got a couple tweets here. Don't want to read these. Huh. Hilarious. TYT is playing Among Us. That's fine with me. Just tell my producer where we're going. Where we're going. Acorns are up in the chat room. We love the acorns. The stream is over. Y'all give a special love and thanks to our producers. Shout out to Max for everything he does, to Jacob for everything that he does, and David for everything that they do. Otherwise, I would just be sitting here just talking, just running my mouth. Because y'all know I could probably talk for like a marathon of 12 hours and not repeat a single thing. So thank them for making sure that we have media to intersplice between my talking. Have a great raid. Thank y'all so much. Y'all go over there. Okay, so let's raid. The future is progressive. Hashtag the TFIP. We'll leave it up to you guys where to play. That said, I'm going to go ahead and put my closing music. It's always a pleasure, Monique. The pleasure is definitely mine. Ken, I appreciate you. I appreciate you guys letting me run my mouth. I'll see you next time.
The Benjamin Dixon Show is only possible with listener support. Go to www.patreon.com/The BPD Show and support The Benjamin Dixon Show. If you like this episode, be sure to share, like, and subscribe.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Check it.